as we formed that nonprofit, I invited the city of Avondale to come to the gym. I was like, hey, check it out. We're doing all these things. And the city was like, you're not even supposed to be in this building. So I was like,
one of those.
What do you mean? They're like, yeah, this zoning here is not meant for a gym. So if you open your gym today, we're going to fine you. That literally that day we had to shut down.
Yeah.
Once that the city shut me down, I was like, man, like they crushed me.
All right, so today we have Vinn. How do you pronounce your last name? I want to make sure I get it.
That's Xayaveth.
Xayaveth. Okay, so Vinn Xayaveth, promoter, gym owner, former fighter. You are a former fighter officially, right?
Yeah. I'm retired. I gave that up 10 years ago.
Yeah. Kind of like going on to that too. So you have your Muay Thai gym out here in the Phoenix Valley, right?
Yep.
So how long have you had that for?
Will be our 10, going on 11 years now.
So 11, oh damn, 11 years already.
Yeah, I mean, we just passed the 10-year mark in September.
Is it just in that location or were you somewhere else? Because you were somewhere else before, right?
Yeah, we've been in that location for 8, and then the smaller location was like 2.5 years.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So I remember when you guys were in the smaller location, you had like a flood or some shit happened in there too, I think.
Oh man, there's so many things that have happened in that thing. Like even just the ending of that whole spot was kind of just a crazy story, bro. I mean, long story short, I guess I rented out that facility and we were there for over 2 years. I had that crazy idea to form the nonprofit, right?
Yeah.
And as we formed that nonprofit, I invited the city of Avondale to come to the gym. And I was like, hey, check it out. We're doing all these things. And the city was like, you're not even supposed to be in this building.
Oh,
So I was like,
one of those.
What do you mean? They're like, yeah, this zoning here is not meant for a gym. So if you open your gym today, we're going to fine you. So I'm like, I've been operating for 2-something years and no complaints. And then now I invite you and you're going to,
shut you down and fine you.
Yeah. So we shut down that day. Literally that day we had to shut down.
Yeah.
And I took whatever students we had that time and we went to Friendship Park, which was like maybe 2 miles from that current gym. And we trained there for 2 weeks. I had like 7 fighters being prepared for the USMTO.
Oh,
and so we were just training in grass during allergy season, just sneezing, and it was crazy. And then we finally, actually my wife found the current spot that we have.
Yeah.
And obviously you've seen my old gym compared to now. That was like 6 times bigger than what we were used to.
100%. You guys have like a barber in your new one, or you did, right?
We did, yeah. We did. But yeah, it was a huge move to that size. And I honestly, I was ready to walk away.
Yeah.
Once that the city shut me down, I was like, man, like, it crushed me, you know what I mean? So I was like, I'm ready to just give it up. Let's just hang it up and walk away. But my wife was like, nah, let's give it one more chance. And yeah, this is where we're at.
Well, like that whole process, people don't know, because it's like, if you have an unzoned place, the way like these things work, you have to get a conditional use permit. Yeah. So like me and you were talking a little bit like difference between Arizona and California. So California, you'd have to do an environmental impact survey. It's like, it's insane. So that process can take like 6 to 18 months just to get that. And the answer might be no, right?
Right.
So I don't blame you when it goes into like those hurdles of business and stuff, right?
It was challenging. It definitely tested me to see how much I loved Muay Thai.
Yeah, right? Because it's easy to just be like, screw it, I'll go train somewhere, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Like why bother with this?
Exactly. Like I could have just went to go get a job at a gym, or I could have made my life a lot simpler.
Yeah.
But I had that little extra battery pack on me, and my wife was like, nah, we need to do this.
Yeah. When you guys found that place, and I'm sure you checked the zoning and everything was good for it, right?
This time around, yeah.
Yeah. When you guys got that space and everything too, because I remember, I think you were bringing in some people came in from like England and stuff like that too, because they were, Tiago and them, they were doing the Siam fight productions.
Right.
And you had some people coming in from like Europe, hanging out at your gym and stuff, right?
Yeah. And that was because of Tiago, actually, because he had them come out, and luckily we had like JP Gallagher, Keith McLaughlin, a couple other guys come through the gym at that time.
Yeah. And that was kind of like, I'm going to say it's like ahead of its time. Like people now know who those people are. Like back then people were like, who are these people?
Right. There was no connection to that side of the world right then.
No, like the social media game was different on that kind of stuff. It's like, unless you're like on one of the major blogs or there was also Muay Times, or there's a few other things.
Muay Thai.
Yeah, my Muay Thai. I was just talking about that the other day, man. And that's how I actually met Matt Lucas. Also, because he was writing on there and stuff like that too, and I was talking with him. So going in from being a fighter, so like let's go back a little bit. How did you get involved in Muay Thai?
Man, it's like my cousin Cobb, which is he basically trained me my whole life. You know what I mean? Like I probably started training in diapers with him. You know, and it was off and on. I didn't really take it that seriously. And then obviously I got into trouble a lot, you know, like we were involved in gangs and stuff. And every time I would get in trouble, I'd just come back to Muay Thai because that was like the only positive avenue that I could control. But whenever I got sick of that, I would just go back to the streets. And that it eventually just came down to like, that was the only positive thing I could control. And that's when I just kind of, after I got in enough trouble, I just decided to just commit to that and never look back.
Yeah. You move that mic a little bit closer. I want to make sure everybody hears you loud and clear.
Okay.
You said your cousin Cobb, so it's Tongsai?
Tongsai, yeah.
Yeah. So where was that?
In Oregon.
That was in Oregon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And he's still up there, right?
Yeah, he's still there. He's got his own gym. Yeah, he's doing good.
Yeah, he's had a couple of like students kind of branched out. So Josh, who I met through you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. He's been in the game a long time, man. He's helped out a lot of people.
Yeah. So how did you like first get involved and like find him?
The funny story is that my parents and his parents are very close, right? And so when my parents would go to work, my mom would actually drop me off at his house and his mom would watch me.
Oh, no shit.
Every day. Every day. You know, over time, we would just get to know each other. And before you know it, he's just like, hey, come here. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you that. And we had this little garage that he trained in. You know, it was like a playroom, but it was also like where all the cousins and all the other cousins would go there, and he would be the one song child of the neighborhood and just start booking fights for everybody.
Hey guys, on Wednesday, come over. I got a mouthpiece. Don't worry.
Pretty much. Like literally, we would just have like the other cousins pull up, or kids. Like we lived by a school, so other kids would pull up too, and he would just set up this little ring and be like, "Yeah, you guys go," and that's just what we did.
Man, that's kind of like what we did as kids too, but we didn't have anybody doing it. We're just like, we got gloves. Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's very much like a young boys thing for like our generation growing up for that kind of stuff. Boxing was freaking huge too on top of it. That helped a lot.
For sure. I watched a lot of Kung Fu movies, Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, shit like that too. So I was always into martial arts, and then like you just kept rolling in that way, you know?
So you mentioned like you were going in, you had some gang related stuff and everything too. So how did you, was that Muay Thai kind of like a catalyst for you to get out of that and like staying in training, or how did you end up getting unwound from that? Because like I think a lot of people, especially now, people glorify a lot of that stuff too.
Yeah, I guess part of it was like culture had a lot to do too, like there's being Thai culture. Like I'm Buddhist, you know, for the most part, and like certain things that I learned along the way, like you kind of just know what's wrong and what's right? Yeah. Even though I'm doing something wrong, you knew it was not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So subconsciously, I already knew that. But obviously, there's a lot of influence that can come into play with that. So obviously, like I knew what was wrong, but I knew what I needed to do, or what I wanted to do, or what was going to come after I did that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so what really just stopped me from doing all that was I had a child, you know what I mean? That was like, all right, well.
It's a life changer right there.
Yeah. You know, I had a child and that was like, all right, well, I can't go to jail. I'm going to try to take care of a child. So that started changing. And then when I went to try to find employment, it was just like, nobody wants to hire a felon.
No.
You know what I mean? They're like, oh, you're perfectly qualified for this job, but you're a felon. I can't hire you.
Yeah, you check that box.
Yeah.
Right.
And even if I don't, I lied. Sometimes I lied. I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to lie. And I lied. They run the background check. I even got the job. They're like, we got you. We want you. And then boom, hey, something popped up on your background,
like,
you know? And so I'm just like, well, crap. Now what do I do? So like I said, I just went back to the gym. You know, there's like, honestly, I didn't even see myself becoming a trainer, becoming none of that. Like I wanted to be a rapper. I wanted it to be rich.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was my idea. And every time I went back to the gym, there was no money in the gym.
No.
There's none. So I was like, yeah, this is fun. It's cool. It's making me a better person, but I want to get paid.
But yeah, this is not what I want to do.
Yeah.
Well, So going through on that stuff, I assume you never wound up in jail again.
I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, kind of have like some in and outs.
It's in and out. I mean, I would say. I mean, I haven't been in jail. It's I would say over 10 years, you know. But like I said, like it was an in and out thing. Like I don't think I fully committed to the Muay Thai scene until like my late 20s, bro.
Yeah,
late 20s was like, all right, like. You can't just play 50-50 on the fence. You need to be both feet in or both feet out. And that's honestly when I put both feet in was when my life actually started to change and like and for the better.
Yeah, you took ownership of your situation that you were in, right?
Right.
And just be accountability, like, hey, only thing I can do is try to do better, right?
Yeah.
And I have a lot of friends who've been through like some shit. I had friends who lived on Skid Row and have turned their life around.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's crazy to hear it. That's why I always like to kind of like pick on that a little bit too. When you go into like your Muay Thai stuff too, because I first heard about you was you fought my friend Boren.
Oh yeah.
Celebrity theater.
Yeah.
Right. So like a lot of this stuff goes back, and like I met Bob Carmel. You know, I met him a couple years prior to that in Las Vegas when Nick One Kick was doing his shows.
Yeah.
You fought my friend Boren, and like then I started seeing you with your gym and stuff like that too. I think back then you were training with Bob, right? Or you were training at the Best Muay Thai?
I was training with Bob.
Yeah, back then. What's crazy is you see like Danny Brandt. Like I posted a picture of me and at Master Toddy's. He's like, hey, when was this? He's like, you fought Sean there, didn't you? You know, Sean Glover. I'm like, yeah, man. Like he's like, because Danny was cornering him against me, and we were the guys from California. It was very funny to see how everything's kind of come like full circle.
It is, yeah. It's like, it's such a small community, man, and those memories are fun to relive, you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's just, it's one of those things that people don't realize. Like, it's the same thing in California. You know, we used to do smokers at John Rex's place. Like, that was like the thing we would do. And there's so many people, we're all connected. So it's like, it's funny because some people will go and like maybe burn a bridge at one place and they go somewhere else. And then you're like, hey, like, where'd you train at? And they tell you, and then you hit like, late night text. Like, you know, if I was going to text you, hey, Vinn, who is this person? It's like either like thumbs up, thumbs down, or don't really know.
Right.
So, and I think a lot of people, especially as the sport's grown, don't realize that it's like actually that small.
Right.
Yeah, they have like the rosy colored glasses, like Muay Thai.
Yeah, it's a small community, man. If you burn your bridge, it's not a good look, man.
No,
it can travel fast.
Oh yeah, they're not just in the U.S., dude. Like everywhere. Everywhere now with the internet and stuff like that too.
Yep.
Kind of going into it too. So you started promote. What made you decide to start promoting fights, like, and start stepping into that realm? Because you know, you've been doing it for how many years now? You've been doing promotion.
I think the nonprofit was formed around 2017.
Mm-hmm. And the nonprofit name is
Southeast Asian Arts Alliance.
Okay, I know it is. But I just want anybody that's listening or watching to be able to get that. I'll make sure to put the link for that down in the show notes as well. And description. That way you guys can go check it out. So it's a 501c.
Yep, 501c3
nonprofit.
Yep.
So that's what you use for your guys' promotion?
Yeah.
Got it. How's that been going?
It's good. It's actually really good, man. I've really been focused on making like a grassroots thing. So we really just focus on getting the community support, you know, and we got a lot of really good supporters behind us. Like I haven't put a single dime into this of my own money.
No shit.
Not a drop of a penny of my own money. So it's just literally like a grassroots built for the community, by the community. And I'm blessed that they trust me enough to give me the resources to do this for our community.
Yeah. Damn. Well, you've gotten sponsorships and stuff like that too?
Yeah. We have some cannabis sponsorships. We have some lawyers, AJ Law, Sweetos, Dispensary, ARG, Concrete. So we have some good supporters that have been with us for, since we started.
Damn, shout out to those guys, man, for supporting Muay Thai. That's dope.
Yeah, like, man.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, AZ Tattoo Asylum, MPX. There's tons of brands that I've really like seen my vision and trust me to put it on.
And they backed it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, because I remember when you were first doing these shows in your gym.
Yeah.
Right? And when you first started, I remember like your first one.
Yeah.
Right? And just seeing how it's grown. I think it was like in 3 shows, you're like, we're already looking for another place.
Yeah.
I remember you told me afterwards, I'm like, all right, do it.
Yeah, it's crazy how things work, man. It's really crazy because like at one moment I felt like we weren't getting any traction, and then all of a sudden like there's too much traction. It just seems.
What do you mean?
Like
just too much stuff going on, or?
Yeah, essentially, like it's almost like, you know, like when you expect certain things to happen, like, oh, I got time to work on this, or I got time to work on this, but it doesn't fall the way you want it. But then all of a sudden, all of it comes at the same time. And you're like, you need to work on all of this now.
Yeah, you need to. It's like, hey, guess what? That team you needed right now, yeah, it's gonna take like 3 to 6 months to build it.
You feel me? And it's been rough. You know what I mean? Because I have a hard time giving away responsibility. And when I'm running these shows, it's literally just me and one other dude that does it. And me is like doing all the guerrilla work, running around, making the relationships. And then I have my other guy that he basically just makes sure I'm operating within the laws.
Yeah.
And he does the paperwork for me. He does all the
stuff for sanctioning and all
the contracts and all that stuff, just to make sure like, hey, if this person gets the ticket, this needs to be out, like just our operating processes and stuff that you handle.
The more like the business, like the paperwork, dotting your I's, crossing your T's, make sure everything falls together. Otherwise the city comes in, shuts you down.
Exactly. So so we've been trying to do that with just the two of us. Right now we are expanding that team, but like I said, it's really hard to find people that are just as passionate about the work.
Yeah, and getting people who are willing to kind of eat the shit sandwich of, hey, you're not getting really paid anything for this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, and it's like, and then you're gonna get a lot of flack.
Yeah,
and you're probably not gonna get enough recognition just amongst the people that are working in it, right?
Yeah, bro.
And it has to like really fulfill their purpose. Yeah,
exactly. So that's why, like, when it came to choosing that team, and it's why it's been so slow, because I'm really just trying to find someone that has that same passion that we share to bring this on. Because like, even since 2017, I haven't taken a dime. I haven't taken a pay. Like, I do these shows for free, 100%.
You invested a lot. You're bringing people from like out of state, out of country, Mexico and stuff like that to come bring them in. And like, I've seen it. I know how like you treat everybody. You pick them up from the airport. You was like, hey, you need food. Hey, you need like water. What do you need? Like, how can we help you? Right. Yeah. I've seen how you are and how your team is, the people that you have kind of empowered during those times.
Yeah. You
started with like all amateur, and you guys started doing pro-am, like professional fights too, right?
Yeah, we did do one pro show. But we want to go back to pro, but I hear that there's some changes that need to be changed with the professional laws, rules in Muay Thai. So we're kind of waiting for those to be resolved.
The stuff about the back elbow?
Yeah.
That got fixed.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, that got fixed. Yeah, I got that through. So
yeah, I didn't know where it was at, but all I knew was that there was some issues with that.
Yeah, so that got resolved. Thank God.
Yeah.
So for anybody that's out there, I've talked a lot about like rules and regulations and how this like statute, how sanctioning bodies, different organizations, different states, different countries, how that works. So anybody that's listening really does kind of like, they get that.
Yeah.
But for anybody else that might be new to this stuff, just quick brief on that. It's like, you're a promoter, you do pro, you have to work with the State Boxing Commission here, and you have to follow their laws. So even if they don't make sense, you have to obey the law. Right. So your partner that you have is like, no, Vin, we have to do this. Right?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, like it's like, smacking the kid's hand from the candy jar.
Pretty much. Like, man, that was such a great idea, though.
Yeah. Hey, put it in the bank, man.
Yeah.
You never know with the way how everything is and how things change and evolve.
Yeah.
It might come a time for it too. When you started doing, like, you did this one pro-am show, that was at the Celebrity Theater, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I heard it was like packed. I didn't get to go to it.
Yeah. I don't really know the official numbers, but it was over 2,000.
Over 2,000 people.
Over 2,000.
Oh shit! Nice, man. Congrats.
Yeah,
that's good. And a lot of people who attended it and stuff like that were telling me it was like really good, like well put together fight cards and stuff like that too.
Yeah, I mean, I got really good response. I think even Bob said that was the best card of the year.
Yeah. Well, it was like a lot of people were talking about the optics of it too, because for those that don't know Celebrity Theater, it's like you have that stage in the middle. And it slowly rotates, or do they stop it?
It can if they turn it on,
Yeah, so it's in the middle of stadium-style seating, right?
Yeah.
Which kind of like...
It's like Raja.
Yeah, like Raja Dum Dum.
Yeah.
So when you were doing these whole promotions and stuff like that too, this also like obviously has benefits for your team if you're doing this stuff, because you can book them fights, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what started it. I think the whole idea of promoting a show was just providing opportunity for the guys, you know, and it just kind of evolved because we wanted to be that stepping stone to the bigger leagues. And also I wanted to make sure that our culture was being represented to its highest level.
Yeah, for Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And, it's like Thai Lao and stuff.
Thai Lao,
yeah,
and Cambodians.
yeah, Khmer. You know, with your gym too, I know you had Kay from Sasi Papa Gym.
Yeah.
How long was he at your gym for?
He was there for about 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
How did you end up getting linked up with them?
Man, that's even a funny story too. So even when I was training, my coach Cobb was saying like, "Hey, you resemble this guy. You should study him." So
Yeah.
I studied him. I started copying him. And then I was just like, yeah, this dude's dope, you know?
Yeah.
And then like, what was it? Maybe 5 years later, he ends up coming to America to Malapit's gym. And I'm just like, what the hell is here? And we were already friends with Malapit, and Malapit was fighting in Vegas and stuff. And then we all congregated over there and met, and that's kind of how we became friends. And I mean, we've been really good friends ever since then.
Well, obviously he's hanging out because was he like staying with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay with me. Yeah, like he's my brother, bro. Like if that dude ever needed anything, I got it for sure.
Yeah, I trained with him back in like 2010, and when he was still fighting at Sasi Papa Gym, and he had his brother there too, his younger brother.
Yeah.
And like I learned a lot by just watching how they kick.
Yeah,
right, because they're just so fast, and also some of the mental stuff too. Because even though those guys were just like eat shit every day in smog at that gym, they were just showing up, and no matter how hot it was, like I was cramping, like my feet were cramping. Like, these guys just, you can tell they were feeling it too, but they had that little bit extra to like keep working through it. Yeah,
he was telling me the tricks that he would do in training too, because he's a female fighter. He's like, when the guys would go run, I'll go hide in the shade. And then when they see the guy running back, he'll dump water on his head and jog back with the fighters.
Yeah, because they have the circle that's over there, and there's a 7-Eleven right on the corner. Yeah, there's literally a 7-Eleven. There's a bunch of street dogs that are around there too. So I think later on, because I went there after he stopped fighting. Yeah. And Ajahn Sit, you know, is it Luke Chen, the head trainer there? Yeah. They're over there on the motorbike. You know, they look like, hey, you're running today? It's like, no, okay. You know, but but now they started patrolling over there. I think they caught on to the tricks that these youngins were pulling. Yeah. I mean, that's normal. Like that shit's not an easy life. Those guys were crammed together. I saw them, you know, like you'd see them fighting these big international shows, and then they're just fucking sleeping next to each other, shoulder to shoulder in the concrete floor. Yeah. I mean, that's how it is in a lot of the gyms. Oh yeah. You know? And this kind of goes into like the benefit of having somebody like you, right, that's running and like how you want to build up here, because it's a different culture and the way you make money is different, right, when it comes into fighting and stuff like that too. There it's like, hey, gamble, hey, here's your money, I'm not gonna tell you what to do with it. Yeah, they go blow it on partying. Yeah, go drink, you know, there's a week and then come back for the next one. Yeah, it was like you see them smoking and stuff like that. I was getting hit by cars right there in La Prao. I was like, oh shit, dude. Like one of the trainers is Putao. He was there, and he almost got hit by a car. I was there. I'm like, I'm gonna walk you back to the gym, because like literally he fell off of his stool, like stumbled back, and the car was like literally that close to hitting him. Like, yeah, you're done today. Mao Mak. And you're getting drunk. Yeah. But he's like, no. I'm like, yes. You're like, time to go to sleep. Yeah. We'll see you in the morning. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's crazy how that's just what they do, man. I feel like that's part of their culture. They like to party, man. Oh yeah. But there's also something to that, because it's kind of like they play on that. It's playing with fire. Yeah. And that's kind of what fighting is. Yeah, I can see that. People die. Yeah. It can happen, right? Yeah. Hopefully a good matchmaker, you know, like for SAA Alliance, you know, you vet that kind of stuff, and you prevent those mismatches and kind of know what's going on. And people will build relationships with you, other fighters. You know, a lot of the people here are fighting in the Valley. You kind of know what they're bringing to the table, right? Right. So fast forward now. So you have your gym that's going. You have promotion. You have a stable. You have pro fighters. Right. Yeah. You have one of them. He has a fight coming up, right? Jose. Yeah. What card is he fighting on? He's fighting on my show. Oh, really? It's my show in Bangkok. Oh, you're doing a show in Bangkok.
Doing a show in Bangkok.
Okay, tell us more about this show in Bangkok.
Yeah, so we partnered up with Pu'u Muay company.
Very familiar with that.
And yeah, they were just gonna do a show on, what is it, in Thailand? It'll be June 23rd, but it'll be broadcasted here in America June 22nd evening.
On what? On here.
It'll be Flash Media Sports.
Flash Media Sports.
Yeah, so the guys that have been doing my pay-per-view for the last show, they're gonna do the pay-per-view for the Bangkok show.
Oh, nice. Are they flying out there, or how's it work?
Yeah, I'm flying them out.
They're probably very stoked about that too, right?
I mean, we're still gotta iron out the details, but he said he's stoked.
Yeah, because I mean, who wouldn't want a trip to Bangkok? It is the hottest time of the year, though.
It is, but I mean, honestly, I don't even know how this show came to be. It just, in my head, I was like, I was planning to do a show like next year. And the last time that I was in Thailand, Kay was supposed to come back with me. I had a visa for him and everything. And we fly back to San Francisco, and he goes through immigration, and they revoke his visa.
No, this is when you were at the WBZ festival?
Literally.
Okay, so I saw something. You said, how can you deny somebody who has all the visa and everything?
Yeah.
Why did it, what was the reason?
There was still no real like reason. They just didn't believe that he was coming to visit. And I was like, how are you not coming to visit? He's already been here 3 times. He's gone back every time. So
yeah.
What is the problem? So they pretty much were saying like, oh, you're coming out here to work. I was just like, well, what does it matter anyway? Like, he's employed by me in Thailand. He's not allowed to come, but they weren't really willing to hear me.
Yeah, it's him.
Yeah, they were interrogating him, and they went through his phone. They went through all this stuff, and then they apparently on his Facebook or something, it said that he worked for Malapit's gym. But that was like, I mean, he put that on there over 10 years ago.
They went deep.
Yeah, and I think that was like the icing on the cake. So they denied his thing, they revoked his visa, and then they made me pay for his ticket to go back.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
So that was a nightmare. So like, I ate a good chunk of change for that, and then now I'm just like, well, fuck, I'm supposed to employ this guy. You know what I mean? Like, he literally...
He uprooted, he has a family over there?
No, he doesn't have a family. I mean, he does have family there, but he literally like quit his job in Hong Kong. He sold all of his stuff in his apartment and was like, I'm going to America. Yeah. And so he got rid of everything. And then now as we go to America and it doesn't work out, he just goes back to Thailand. Like, well, now what?
Fuck.
You know what I mean?
But that happens a lot for these Thai guys.
It seems that way, yeah.
Yeah, because when it comes into visa issues, like, I know one that was like arrested in Norway and he was deported. Canada, like, it's the thing that happens. And I think with China also, like, I saw a lot of trainers, there was something with their visas where it had something to do with like water rights. In China, cut off like the work visa, so the length of it didn't really make sense for the Thai guys to be in China anymore for a bit. So I saw a bunch of trainers come back from China. I'm like, yo, like, where the hell you been? Oh, China, making money.
Right. Yeah.
Because they're able to make a lot of money there. So that sucks, man. So you're going back there. Is he still doing work for you?
Yeah, I mean, now at this point, that's why I had to make all these pivots, you know what I mean? Because I plan to employ him in America, but now at this point, it's like I have to figure out how to employ him still because I feel bad that I'm like, well, you're on your own now. You got to figure it out. Which he took it upon himself anyways.
Yeah.
Like, he went to another gym to work, and I was like, hey, let's just start a promotion out there then. I was going to do it anyway, but if you want to take that hat, then let's just get it started. So that way I can pay you and make these moves for me while I'm over here. And he's like, I've never done this before, kind of scared. But I just kept kind of just planting that seed in him. And finally he went to go talk to some people and I feels more confident about it. So putting on that show, he ended up the job in Phuket. We're opening a gym.
So he was working down like one of the gyms in Phuket? Yeah. That's what he's doing. Yeah, and that's where like I ended up running into some of these guys I'm like, I haven't seen you in like 10 years. Where you been? And they're like, oh, I was in Japan, China, Europe, Sweden. Yeah. So that's good, man. And the weight of a leader, right? That's kind of like it says a lot when somebody's like, hey, I could just lead this person to go kick rocks, but obviously that's not how you are. Yeah. Right? You're like, hey, this is one of my guys. I'm not going to. Yeah, exactly. If I can fix it, I'm going to. Exactly. Yeah. Like, I already had plans to him is a part of my part of my plan. Got it. You know what I mean? So it's like when I use him, it was always gonna be a part of the plan. Is just when it was gonna happen. You know, and we just kept pivoting. At first, I was like, well, let's just have you take care of my gym in America, and then we can just swap back and forth
and switch. Because I told you before, I want to live in Thailand, or at least part of the year. So that was the plan. Like, hey, you can come take care of my gym. I'll go over there. That didn't work out. So now we just keep pivoting. Now we have a promotion, and now we have that. And then basically now I can hire him as an American employee in Thailand, to where when I do renew his visa, I can get a working visa to be like, I need him to transfer as a manager to America, and he can be able to fly back and forth as much as he wants.
Man, that must be an expensive lawyer.
Yeah, man.
Or you have some help from some of them, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy task, but like I said, man, I'm not one to let people tell me no. So
it's just a hurdle too.
Yeah,
just like you had with your gym, and I think that was probably a catalyst for you too. Is like, hey, once you learn that you can overcome that, it's like, oh, yeah, I just keep going.
That's it. Yeah. That's it, bro. That's the whole meaning behind my brand, Kang Lang too. Like, if you've seen it around, Kang Lang just mean you don't quit, bro. You're resilient.
Oh, that's what that means.
That's what that means.
Kang Lang. Yeah, I have seen it. You have like some gear and stuff like that, some merch and everything like that too. Yeah. So you don't quit, all right? So you go in, you have this promotion going on in Thailand. You're talking about potentially moving there and everything too. I feel like things are obviously here, like the U.S., we have our opinions on it that we're talking about.
Yeah.
But also, it's like when I first linked up with you when you were first starting your show out here, you're like, man, we're making Phoenix Valley is going to be Bangkok of the U.S.
Yeah.
And like I was telling you, like, I see it. That's part of the reason why I'm here, because there's so much freaking activity out here, man.
Hell yeah.
Like it is dope. There, you have your show, you have Fabiano, you have USMTO twice a year, you have Silent Fight Productions might come back, you have a few other smaller promotions that are popping up.
Yeah.
And it's just that you guys really keep an active schedule. And with the way the commission is out here, they're obviously willing to talk. Like I said, that rule is fixed.
Yeah.
Anywhere else, that would have taken years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of probably what you were thinking, like, oh, shit.
Yeah. I mean, for something like that, I was like, man, that's going to take a long process.
Yeah. So it's like, for me, like, seeing that just reaffirmed my decision to be here.
Right.
Yeah, like part-time and stuff too, because the community with the fights, it's like we're bringing our team out here, we're doing these things, right? So tell me a little bit about, like, how was COVID with your business out here in Arizona? That's a big hurdle, like, all of us had to, like, overcome.
Yeah, that was a rough time, man. That time, like, the gym wasn't even that busy even to begin with in the first place. So, like, we had to find new ways to make revenue. I mean, I think at one point we were fucking slanging lobsters, bro. I have it.
You're selling lobsters?
I was selling lobsters, bro.
What, in the desert? Like, where did you have like a distributor that you found?
Yeah, that was the lick, bro. Like, I'm a hustler.
You find a way. Yeah.
If it's needed, I'm gonna sell it. And I found a person that was selling boxes of lobster, fresh, live, Maine lobsters. And they would just sell me boxes of them, and then I would sell them. I think they were giving them to me for like $12 a piece, and I was selling them for $25.
Oh shit! Nice. That's a nice little arbitrage.
Yeah. So I'm making 100% profit, and all I had to do was be like, hey, we'll deliver these to your door. You don't even have to go to the grocery store. And who doesn't want to eat lobster? You know what I mean? Because it's like a delicacy, right? So supposedly it's like a fancy food. So I was like, we'll bring it to you. We'll show you how to cook it. We had all these things, and it got us through, bro.
Was it delivering lobsters?
It literally got us through. Like, we were delivering lobsters almost like every day to Scottsdale. That's how I met a bunch of dudes in Scottsdale.
No shit. Delivering to the house.
Delivering to their house, bro. Like, I have videos of, like, my homie that worked for me at the time. We were in a Ferrari holding up a lobster, driving in. Like, dude, it was so weird how we met these people, bro. And do you have a picture of that or something?
I mean, you don't need to, I mean, if you're pulling it up now, I got to see this shit, because, like, you got to send to me. For anybody that's on there, you're going to have to send whatever you're pulling up right now. You're going to have to send to me, because I need to get this thing on screen, man.
Dude, I have to find the video.
Yeah.
So it's funny, bro, because my friend Blank, right, he was the one that helped me do it all. And we were called the Lobster Bro. That was the name of the company.
Dope. Yeah.
And yeah, we pulled up to some Scottsdale houses, and literally we
making it happen by slanging lobsters in the middle of the desert, bro.
Yeah, bro. And it was cool because, like, our students supported it too. Like, once it popped out, like, oh, I know these guys might be struggling, so they would pull through, bro. They were like, I'll take 3, I'll take 5. And then once they got through and they were posting their meals and
they'd have their friends that would have been, I want lobster.
Yeah.
Like, who are these people? Oh, it's my friend.
Deliver it. You know, everyone's bored. So it's like, well, why don't you learn to cook something new? You know what I mean?
Might as well, man. Like, because they had like the stimulus checks, all that stuff going out.
Yeah, bro.
You know, I know some people who were like slinging COVID tests and shit like that too.
I remember that.
Yeah, there's like a lot of people who were like, "Hey, you want to do this?" I'm like, for me at the time, I'm like, I can't just play. I can't play into this.
Yeah, I do actually remember that. Actually, I almost got into that too because there was a Korean supplier that was in LA that was like, "Hey, we could get these masks and the COVID tests."
Yeah,
and I was trying to see like, oh, could I sell these to companies to make a buck? But I didn't end up getting into that.
You didn't go down that rabbit hole?
I didn't go.
I think the lobsters is a much more ethical way of going about that.
Yeah,
whole thing, man.
I'm still trying to find the video, bro.
Yeah. Hey, don't worry about it right now. But I'm gonna hit you up because I want that video. Yeah. I want to see that, or even just a picture, a screen grab of it. You in a Ferrari with a lobster in Scottsdale, man. Yeah. So that was the thing that got you guys through that, huh?
Yeah, bro.
Shit,
totally. And then I mean, we at one point, bro, like after I think it was like a month or so. I kind of just said, screw it, bro. We're just going to open up low key, right? We opened up low key. I let the fighters come in and we started doing that Star Wars show, right?
On Twitch.
On Twitch, yeah. We started doing the Star Wars thing. And then once we did that for a little bit, someone ratted on us.
For when you were streaming it?
Yeah. Someone ratted on us. And then the city sent us a letter and was like, hey, you need to put this in your building. And that you can't be open. And I was just like, all right, whatever. And then we just kind of slowed down and eventually we just kind of said, screw it, and just opened up anyways.
Yeah, that's kind of, I would say similar to what we did, but we were getting flack for running Zoom classes.
Oh, man.
I literally have stuff. I have receipts, you motherfuckers. All right? Because I don't care because these guys suck, man. These guys, and I tell you, every person that was involved with it has had something terrible happen to them. Yeah. Like, I'm like, oh, karma, right? But they were like, literally, I got the reports and people, I can hear them kicking the heavy. Like, the guy sat in front of my door for 4 hours while we taught Zoom classes, bro. And he was trying to open the door. I remember somebody trying to open. I'm like, who the hell's trying to open the door? Like, we had to cover everything because we kept getting harassed by we had some lady come in and scream at everybody and everything, man.
People just can't mind their business, bro.
It's because
drives me. It's
like this whole mass hypnosis psychosis, I think is what they called it.
It's weird, bro.
Yeah. Well, you made it through, man. Yeah. And now it seems like you're, once the world opened up, it was kind of like there was a big boom in Thailand also for tourism for Muay Thai.
Oh yeah.
Because everybody was on their phone and they saw it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that really benefited the awareness of what we do.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
So did you see that in your gym, like once things started picking up again, or?
I think so too, because I think people were just tired of not being active, and they were just trying to find new ways to be active, and that was just what they chose because it became popular now.
Yeah,
it started that wave. I don't know what really started it, but yeah, like Muay Thai is pretty big, man.
Yeah, from like back when I first met you, back then it was still like, Muay Thai, like a drink?
Yeah.
I don't hear that anymore. People are like, oh, I know what Muay Thai is. I'm like, well, how do you know about Muay Thai?
Right, they've at least heard of it. They at least know it's a martial art.
Yeah, and it's not like this obscure thing. I've had a lot of talks to people about this too. And this is like my theory on why it didn't grow, right? Thai people didn't speak English. Japanese did.
100%.
Right? And so that's all changed. As you know, these younger Thai guys going to university, international school, they learn English.
Right. And I feel like I was one of the first generation kids of that group, you know what I mean? Because you look at my coach Tong Sai, you look at Jongsun, and you look at all those trainers out there, they didn't have the education of having really good English.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like I was their voice at the time because what they would tell me in Thai is like, I'm repeating it in English for them. You know what I mean? And I feel like now these newer generations that have more education, more English, and are able to translate can now show what the Thai vision is.
And help people better understand the sport and give it a proper education on it, right?
Right.
So definitely. Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one that sees that kind of stuff too. I figured that, but it was one of those things I like to bring up with people because when you think about the perception of the sport and from a media marketing perspective too, there's this big push, especially here in the USA, to almost change the rules.
Yeah.
Right? Change like, hey, no sealing the ring. No waikure moi. Hey, the gloves thing, longevity, I don't think is good for a fighter's career.
Right.
It's entertaining as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
sure.
It adds a whole nother dynamic. But, missing on waikure moi, like those are the things that like our trainers was like, hey, make sure this doesn't get lost.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And it's happening. It's like, your show, people have to do basically waikure, right?
Yep. They have to do it.
So they have to do at least like the seal the ring.
At least sealing the ring. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's really good, because that's part of the allure for some people from Muay Thai.
Right.
And for, carrying on that torch that these guys, basically they dug out the big hole, right? And now it's time to build on it. And if you don't uphold these traditions, or like the authenticity of the martial art, I don't want to say traditions, but it's authentic.
Right.
It goes away. It gets buried.
Yeah. And that's why the SAA is around too, because, like I said, not very many people know what stadium fighting is.
Yeah.
They probably only know one championship.
Yeah, entertainment style.
Yeah, they only know the small gloves and they know Rod Tang, but they don't know the guys that have fought 5 rounds and you know what I mean, that the where we understand.
Yeah. And that kind of goes in, boxing is a similar thing too.
Yeah.
It's all these like combat sports have these little paradigm shifts where it comes into it. And it's about understanding the context of the sport and where it's at now, where it was, where it's going, where it could go.
Right.
Where it's going now, like, I don't know if it's good or bad. Like, what kind of tell?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, yeah, time will only tell, right?
Yeah. I can just say, I know that you're going to be doing it. I'm still going to be around, like, we're going to be those guys that, like, we're going to be the Bob Carmelos of the older guys yelling at everybody. But, like, here's the thing, though. People like him, as Adam on, we're talking about Fairtex coming to Chandler. Like, imagine some shit like that happened now.
Man, that would be insane.
Yeah. I think if anybody listening out there that's like a venture capitalist, I think there's a great opportunity for that.
Like I said, even when Bob was doing that, bro, like, he was ahead of his time.
Yeah. And it's just way ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Just like I was saying, what you were doing 10 years ago was that.
Yeah.
Right. It's like Lerd Silla was out in California.
Nobody knew.
Nobody gave 2 shits. For me, I fought against a guy and he's cornering. I'm like, oh, fuck. Lord Silla's cornering against me. Shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, I knew who he was.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing like when Sanchai first came too. Like, no one knew. Like, people in Muay Thai knew who he was.
Right.
But everybody else is like, who is this guy? Like, oh, okay.
A short Asian dude.
Yeah, short Asian guy. You're saying that he could mess me up? Yeah, I don't think so. It's like,
yeah. Back then too, right? They're just like, nah, bro.
That Muay Thai, what you gonna do? You gonna kick me?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, back then was that was a crazy time.
So with that too, man, like kind of where you're at and the things the decisions you're trying to make right now for like business, right? Let's imagine if there's like one, like let's say everybody on your team right now far exceeded your expectations on what your goal is right now, right? So you're a year ahead, you're looking back 1 year, all right? What was that one or two things that you think, you implemented in your business with your team
that made it all
happen?
I think is just having the team able to work together. You know what I mean? Like building an environment to where they feel safe enough to talk. You know what I mean? Whether it's a good or bad. Like our team at the gym, it's like they are like brothers. You know what I mean? Like they'll go out with each other. They'll eat with each other, but they'll also like they're comfortable enough to like share their problems with each other too. Like it's literally like one of those things to where if one of my fighters called me today and needed something, I would be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they would they could probably call anyone on the fight team and they would be there for them. So I think it's just like knowing that they have someone to depend on in time of need is what really got everyone to be like, I need to be ready for it just in case. Not just think about myself, but think of the team as in general. Cause like I had talks with them before, like, hey, you see how I operate. Like if you see a fucking fire, put it out.
Yeah.
Don't just fucking wait for someone to, if you see the house burning, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not your job, you're just gonna let it burn and be like, I live here, but it's not my job to put out the fire.
That's a good analogy.
You know what I mean? So I tell them like,
taking ownership, right?
Yeah, I was like, this is your house. If you see something burning, are you gonna let it burn? Or are you gonna be like, let me put that out so that way it doesn't get worse?
Yeah. Well, that goes into like decentralized command and stuff like that too. You ever listen to or read Jocko Willink stuff?
No, bro. I haven't, honestly, bro. Like, it's been a while since I read a book, but
yeah, it has an audiobook.
Yeah,
it's one of those things like if you're driving, doing a long drive, or you're traveling, flying. That's when I catch all my audiobooks or reading.
I need to get more into that for sure.
It makes it so easy. But what'll happen is I'll listen to the book and I'll be like, man, there's a lot of shit in there. I should probably read it. And then I'll go through and I'll go find that section that I want, right? That I heard in there.
Yeah.
And that's like what helps me learn some of these things too. Because you got a lot of things going on, man.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a lot of, you obviously have good people and mentors around you on this stuff too. Yeah, man. Well, you have your fight show coming up. How can people stay tuned on SAA Alliance? How can they keep up on your gym? Where can they find you guys?
I mean, you could just stay up to date with our social media, right? SAA_Alliance. That's the best way to keep up to date with the fight shows and stuff. I'll periodically just do like interviews. Like lately, I've been accepting my role as being the face of the promotion.
Yeah.
So I've been, you've been seeing my face a little bit more in the marketing and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can find us there. The gym, we're in Phoenix, West Phoenix. X Muay Thai Gym is our Instagram. That's where you can keep up to date there.
Awesome. I'll make sure to put that link down in the show notes for anybody that's listening to this. Also, we'll put it on the description for anybody that's on YouTube. All right. Vinn, thank you so much for coming in today, man.
Yeah, bro, it was a pleasure. It's always fun to meet with you, man.
Yeah, and to not be like where I'm like, have my ring official face on and talk, right? And you have your coach face on where you have to yell at me, right?
Right, yeah, that's true, right? Every time we see each other, we're in business mode.
Yeah, and you have to be like separate, right?
Yeah.
But you got anybody fighting at USMTO this time?
I have, I think, 6 guys. I have 3 kids, 3 adults.
And good luck to your team.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you.